Hey everybody, my name is Dr. Film, and no, I'm not qualified to have a medical license. Before we begin this video, you should know that I have a series where I review classic Disney animated feature films, and I was going to do one for this video, but then I thought, what if I try something different here? What if I start a series where I review classic animated movies from DreamWorks? Therefore, in this video, I'm taking a look at DreamWorks' first animated feature film, Antz. As always, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe so you won't miss any new content. So without further delay, let's talk about our characters. The characters were memorable, lively, and all around likable. And yes, to answer your question, I was surprised myself that an all-star cast is voicing all of these characters. And frankly, I think all of them are perfect for each character, especially the main villain, General Mandible, voiced by Gene Hackman. Every time he's on screen, you can't help but feel uneasy and unsettled by his presence. However, the problem with having an all-star cast is that you would only see the actors themselves, not the characters. For example, Dr. Butler, let's play a game, and tell me which character's name pops into your head when you hear this dialogue, but you can't say the actor's name. Do you understand?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Alright. Let's start with the first one.
Hey! Take it easy, Muscles.
Jennifer Lopez.
What? No, I told you, don't say the actor's name. That's Azteca. Let's do another one.
Don't follow orders your whole life. Think for yourself.
Danny Glover.
Did you just forget? I told you, not the actor's... That's Barbados!
You're right, I'm so sorry, sir.
It's okay. Let's do another one. One more, okay? But remember, don't say the actor's name. Just think of what the character's name is, okay?
I am ready, sir.
Alright, here we go.
Who said there was a girl for you? I was talking about a girl for me.
Rocky Balboa.
Why would you think that's Rocky? That's Weaver! These two look nothing alike!
Sylvester Stallone.
No, I said not the actors. Oh, for the love of... Oh my lord. Do you see what I mean here? Because these actors are so recognizable and famous that you wouldn't see the characters as who they are. And you won't even remember most of their names. Nevertheless, the characters were good. Now the animation. Honestly, the CGI rendering in this film doesn't hold up well to this day. For instance, the character models for the ants. I'm not talking about the ones that we follow. No, those are reasonably good designs. I'm talking about the ones in the background. You know, the workers and the soldiers. Not only did the animators reuse the same designs over and over again, but the ants themselves look stiff and lifeless. It's as if you were watching a movie with robot ants. But to be fair, this is the very first animated feature film from DreamWorks, so it's reasonable to understand that this movie would have its issues. And besides, there are some intriguing visuals to appreciate in this movie, such as the colony of ants. At the beginning of the film, the animators nicely established the world of Z and how it operates. Plus, there are some great designs of other bugs and other environments. So I think the animators put a lot of good work into the animation, despite the issues. Now for the soundtrack score. The score was distinct and very unique. For instance, when Z realizes that he's going into battle, we get introduced to a surprisingly nice melody.
We ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. We slaughter termites just for fun, hurrah, hurrah.
But when Z and the rest of the soldiers reach the termites' colony, that's when the score suddenly changes into a horrific war movie. The stakes become exceedingly high, and you can't help but feel stunned by this sudden transition because you were not expecting a full onslaught between the ants and the termites. The score wouldn't be as good if it weren't for Harry Williams and John Powell.
This will give the parents nightmares.
As for the humor was clever and funny. On the other hand, some jokes can be too graphic for young audiences. For example...
Don't you want your 8-bit beer?
Call me crazy, but I have a thing about drinking from the anus of another creature, okay?
What are you bitching about?
You know, I was gonna let you become part of my most erotic fantasies, but now you can just forget that, write it off, you know? I guess what you prefer is old blood and guts.
Yeah, most of the jokes in this film come from our character Z. It really depends on which joke suits you the best. For me, it is certainly not this.
You're the one who was cruising the worker bar looking for a little action, and you just happened to find it. The swarthy, earthy, sensual worker.
Okay, I don't know if I should find that charming or creepy. Now for the story. This one is a complex topic because there is a lot to cover in this story. So let's go over the pros first. For instance, the world building was great and massive, and that's all I got. This is awkward. Right, let's go over the cons. For one, you don't know how to tell someone what the story is about because there's an overabundance of plot points in this movie. For example, you have one where it's about Z trying to find meaning in his life, other than being an insignificant worker. Then suddenly it's turned into a romance story, where Z tries to see Princess Bala again after the Little Lovely dance number. Then we have another plot where Z heads out to find a bug paradise called Insectopia. Then we have a subplot where Z inadvertently causes a revolution between the workers and the high class. Then we have another plot where Z and Bala uncovers the general's plan to wipe out the workers.
Stop! Full stop! Brakes! No!
What were the writers thinking? It's as if the writers were trying to make the story grand and meaningful as possible for both kids and older audiences. But instead they made the story more complex than it shouldn't have been. Also, I have to say, I'm not a big fan of the romantic plot between Z and Bala. Maybe I used to when I was a kid, but now, I just don't see it. Like, I don't feel their connection for each other. I just don't find it believable. Like, it felt forced, you know? And let's be honest here, Z was acting like a stalker and a creep. And he took Bala hostage. Literally. And Bala did this in return. Yeah, he kinda deserved that. Before we get to the verdict, I want to address the elephant in the room. And that is the feud between DreamWorks' Antz and Pixar's A Bug's Life. Two movies that came out in the year 1998. I'm afraid to let you know that I'm not going to discuss it in this review, because this is one of the most controversial topics in film history, and I'm afraid talking about it might take up too much of your time. Plus, there have been other videos on YouTube that have tackled this particular issue. But if you're still interested in learning more about what happened between these two studios at the time, I recommend checking out Super Carlin Brothers' video. You can find the link in the description below. Trust me, their information is legit, and these guys are awesome. Overall, my friends, I can see why many people consider this one of the most classic animated movies of DreamWorks. But that doesn't make it the best one either. The animation didn't age well, the humor can be inappropriate sometimes, and the story has a complicated structure. But on the positive side, the characters were amusing, the soundtrack was memorable, and while the animation wasn't perfect, it did give us a unique look at what the world of bugs is like from the perspective of a small ant. So despite its flaws, I still had an enjoyable time with this film. If you haven't seen it yet, you can watch it on Hulu. Antz scores a 7.5 out of 10. Well, that's the end of my review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, and please follow me on Instagram at DrFilmRoncess for updates on my channel. And as always, I will see you guys in our next appointment.